Alright, so we're going to be graphing in standard form. So what it's going to do is it's going to take what we learned on Monday and also combine it what we learned on graphing in vertex form. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. So for our steps, our first step when we graph in standard form, okay, so that's when we're going to graph equations that look like this. Okay, so the first thing is we can't graph when it's in standard form. Our first step is we're going to have to convert it to vertex form, which is what we learned on Monday. Okay, so the first thing is we'll convert it, then we'll go ahead and copy down our table, then do everything else like we normally would when we graph. So let's look at this example. Okay, so our first thing is we need to convert it to vertex form in order to graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to do opposite of b, so positive 6, okay, over 2 times my a, which is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. So 6 over 2 is 3. That's my h value. So now we're going to plug that back in to find k. So 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 4. Okay, so that ends up being negative 5. So that's our k value. So our equation is actually going to be y equals, our a is 1, so then x minus h, so minus 3 squared minus 5. Okay, so once I have that, now I can go ahead and make my table like I normally would. So I have my x and my y, so negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so we know that'd be 4, 1, 0, 1, 4. Okay, so here's our normal points. So I graph those on my graph. Okay, but then now I need to shift them. So it's minus 3. That tells me that I'm going to the right 3. Okay, and then I'm going to go up, or down, down 5. Okay, so I'm going to shift all my points to the right 3, down 5. Okay, so I shifted my points. Now I'm going to go ahead and graph my parabola. And that's my answer. Go ahead and pause it and make sure that you shift those points to the right 3, down 5. Okay, so I included this one because this one's kind of a special case. We notice that we're missing our b term. So anytime we're missing our b term, it's technically in vertex form and in standard form. So when it has no b term, it's in both vertex and standard form. So for standard form, we have to actually convert it to vertex form, but since this one's actually already in both forms, we can just do this like we normally do with a vertex form, okay? This minus 6 tells me that I'm going to go down 6. This negative 1 is what we're going to multiply our table by, so I'm going to go ahead and make my table. Multiply all of them by negative 1, so I have negative 4, negative 1, 0, negative 1, and negative 4. Okay, so go ahead and let's graph these points. Okay, and then for this one, we're just going to go ahead and shift my points down 6. Okay, shift them all down 6, and then I'm going to go ahead and just draw in my parabola. Okay, so the one about this one is, or the big thing about this one is when it has a b term is 0 or it doesn't have a b term, it's already in vertex form, so you don't have to worry about converting it since it's technically already in vertex and in standard form. All right, let's take a look at this one. So it's in standard form, so I need to convert it to vertex form. So I know my a is 3. So let's find our h. So we're going to do opposite of negative 18 is positive 18 over 2 times 3, which is 6. We reduce that, that's just 3. Okay, so now I'm going to plug that back in. So I have 3 times 3 squared minus 18 times 3 plus 25. Okay, when I do that, I get negative 2. And make sure that you do that in your calculator as well so that you're making sure you're typing in the right things. So that's going to be our k value. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. We have y equals, my a was 3. Then I have x minus my h, so x minus 3 squared. And my k is negative 2. Okay, so that means that we're going to go to the right 3, down 2, and my a is going to be multiplied by 3, or my y table is going to be multiplied by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and make my table. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So 4, 1, 0, 1, 4. Okay. And we're going to multiply all those by 3, so 12, 3, 0, 3, and 12. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and, I know I'm going to go to the right 3 down 2, so I'm just going to start at right 3 down 2. And I'm going to go ahead and plot my points 1, 3, and over 2 up 12. Okay, and then do the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and graph in that parabola. Okay. If you did the parent function and shifted, that works as well. I just kind of skipped a step and shifted it over to start with. All right, so then your exit ticket says, when is vertex form and standard form the same? Well, we talked about that. That was our second example when our b equals 0, or there's no b term. All right, go ahead and get started on your practice problems.